questions or comments? Yes, sir.
I'm looking for a representative that is going to be an activist. You talked about the things you sponsored and co-sponsored when you served previously. One of the things I'm looking for is somebody who will be actively part of dismantling what's been put together over the last 18 months. I'm disgusted by Nancy Pelosi's lapdog and his record, Mark Schauer's record. I would like to see, maybe I'd like to know what you think of Paul Ryan's roadmap for America. I've taken a look at it online. I like what I see. I like what I hear him say in the media. It seems like a positive agenda, not just repealing what's been done, but putting something positive forward that can actually get us out of the hole we're in. What are your thoughts about Representative Ryan, working with him, co-sponsoring legislation with a person like that in Congress?
Well, Paul Ryan lives in his office too. And we met every morning because we were in the same locker area. And I'll never forget him coming up with his first plan for that proposal he's put out now, and presenting it in the Republican Study Committee, which is arguably the Republican wing of the Republican Party. And right now it's the majority, over 130 members of the Republican Study Committee, conservatives, Michelle Bachmann, Paul Ryan, Peter Roscoe, Eric Cantor, and I could go on down the list. And after I heard his presentation, I went up to him in the locker room the next morning and said, Paul, when you're ready to have co-sponsors, he says, wait a second, Walberg, I know you're targeted. Ended up being #1 in the nation. He says, this is too controversial at this time. We've got to work on it more. We've got to run up the flagpole, get some comments, find some ways of dealing with it better. And then you get reelected, then you can co-sponsor it. I think the American people, the more they're hearing about it now, are saying, though it's tough, because it deals with every area of the budget, including Social Security, Medicare, all the entitlements, and it says we are going to have to get back on an even keel. And to do that, we're going to have to do some under-the-keel work in order to handle it. I'm very supportive of it. Okay? It's something that has to be sold well. It will be postured against. It will be lied about by our opposition. They will make anyone who supports it be against mother, father, every senior citizen, and every child in apple pie. And they won't tell the facts about it, or they won't deal with why it's necessary to get us back on sound footing, even after the fact of what we did here in Michigan back in the early 90s, mid-90s. They were tough things. And I was there as part of it, co-sponsoring 26 tax cuts, and workfare from welfare. It was tough, but ultimately it turned this state around. Same thing could happen in the United States. I'm an activist. There's one reason alone why the Democrats spent so much time on Tim Walberg in the 7th District. They weren't going to shut me up. And we tried not to be stupid about it. But I was sent there to represent conservative traditional values, foundational principles that are talked of in our Declaration of Independence and in the doctrines of our founders. So I think there was a question here, and then we'll go here.
I had a whole bunch, but you answered most of them, so I don't have to ask them. But the one thing that you
Let's
did
take one at a time.
is protection of the borders and illegal aliens. Where do you stand, and how would you correct the problem?
As Sonny Bono said when asked the question, how do you feel about illegal immigrants? He just simply looked up and said, what was that first word? The person said illegal. He said, carry out the law. We have a good law in place, we're just not carrying it out. And Arizona has brought that to the fore by saying, federal government, the law is there. You will not protect us, a sovereign state with citizens of this country, that you've held your hand up when you've taken oath of office as a member of Congress or the President of the United States to protect our citizens against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You're not doing it. The law is there. So we're going to pass a law that mirrors the federal language. And then we're going to use our resources to protect our citizens. It was a shame that had to be done.
What can we do about the illegals that are already here? And
well, I think Arizona is showing what we can do about it by simply passing the law and starting to force it. Even the fear of them enforcing it is causing them to leave Arizona. If they don't have jobs, there's not a reason for many of them to stay.